Welcome back, AI Explorers, to Tingenuity AI. It's another Midjourney Monday, and we are excited to share with you some interesting features from Midjourney. Let's jump in.
All right. Thank you, Jake. Today we're going to talk about permutations. And in our prompts today, we're going to do some interesting permutations. We're doing here a full body shot of, and here's where our permutations come into play. We're going to do some princesses, Cinderella, Snow White, and Sleeping Beauty in Times Square, cinematic, photorealistic with our Canon and some other camera features. But I want to bring your attention to the brackets. Because we put these brackets around our prompt subject, it's going to create three iterations at once. When we set this going, you'll see in Discord, it asks you permission to continue with this process because it does require a bit more computing power, and it will impact your subscription, whatever that subscription may be. On the website, it just runs through it. In this, we're going to show this. So here you see it's got yes or no. We're going to say yes because we want to see what it does. And so you can see here, it created three different versions listing each of those individuals in that Times Square backdrop in the prompt. So let's take a look at what it produces. It's doing all three relatively fast, 32% already. And Jacob, what is the prompt that you are looking to do to kind of give it a little twist this time?
What? Well, so we're still doing the what are they called again? The parameters? I want to make sure I get this right. The permutation prompt. We're doing a permutation prompt. So in my brackets, instead of princesses, I'm going with presidents, founding fathers, that kind of thing. So here we're going to get a close-up of George Washington. Yes. Abraham Lincoln and Benjamin Franklin standing in Times Square. We'll see how it varies from what you've done with your princesses.
So on my screen, we've already got the princesses. Here's Snow White. This one at the top left looks more like Little Red Riding Hood because of the red dress, in my opinion. The top right is definitely the quintessential Snow White from the Disney movies. Our Snow White in the bottom left is more of that white feel, as well as the bottom right. But we can see it's in that populated Times Square looking background. So it grabbed that and then it made these permutations. Here we have Cinderella, obviously in the very fancy ball gown. On the top left, it looks like she's wearing a mask.
Yeah, it
So
does
that's kind of
almost kind of look.
interesting.
There's some interesting cloud, or that's just city smoke, I guess, huh?
Yes, the two that I like the most are the right ones, the top and bottom right ones, because we've got you've got Cinderella from the back, and she's looking in awe at all of this light and other things. And note in the top right, it looks like there's even a fantasy character in the top right of the top right quadrant there.
Yeah, it
She's
does.
got a
And
blue
on the
dress,
sign. Mm-hmm.
like Bo Peep or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Which is fun.
Now let's take a look at Sleeping Beauty. So this it looks like Sleeping
As are
Homeless Beauty. I love this.
actually
This is
asleep.
asleep on. This reminds me of like a fashion shoot kind of thing where they would have them in these odd poses and odd locations doing odd things. We obviously have a Sleeping Beauty in this. The top left looks like Elsa from Frozen. She's got that blue dress. So that's kind of fun. But
Look at the bottom right. The hand is upside down or inverted or something. So it kind of didn't quite get that one right. You see
no.
it?
Well, you can see that even though hands have improved, there's still some
There's still
issues.
some issues when it comes to AI generated art. Yeah. So you got to keep an eye out for that.
Well, let's take a look at your founding fathers. What did that
Okay.
accomplish?
So if we come over, look at our founding fathers, Abraham Lincoln, very well known, well pictured. So it got the facial features correct.
However, he looks very plastic comparatively.
Right. He does look very plastic. I went for a photorealistic look and it makes him look like an animated figure. Let's see if we get anything different with Ben Franklin here.
Oh, that looks
So
dope.
in 3 of them, he's a statue, though. Look at it.
I think that's fantastic. The bottom left one is just really cool because the flag is there, and you have the bronze statue of him.
Oh, yeah, the bottom right, that looks phenomenal. I like the top right because of his expression. He's like, I can't tell if he's determined or if he's like, wow. Like,
Stunned
you know
and
what I mean?
shocked. Here's what my
Right.
key experiment has come to.
Yeah. And then we get George Washington again. It wanted to do these older ones as statues. So I wonder, again, the purpose of today's episode was to show the permutations, but I personally am going to spend some time later on playing with this to see if I can't get flesh and blood ones instead of statues.
Well, I like how they keep infusing the AI and keeps infusing the American flag into some of these. That bottom left one of George Washington, see how it's got the kind of stylized version of the red, white, and blue in that square that George Washington is looking to.
And then the top right, there are flags behind him as well,
Right.
which is kind of neat. Yeah, so it definitely picked up on themes of patriotism and that kind of stuff because from our conversation with Sherry, if anybody watches our weekly chats, she talks about how you can plan and layer different meanings from different words as you feed them to Midjourney. And so anytime you're going to evoke George Washington, you're going to evoke patriotism, founding father, and all of that. And so it makes sense that it's going to automatically put flags in the background unless you get more specific. So I think that's fascinating.
Well, this has been a fascinating exploration with you, Jacob, and I hope our viewers have enjoyed it as well. If look at your prompts when you want to do permutations, if you've got a big set of ideas you want to run through, you can use the permutation parameter to help modify your prompts and generate things really quickly. So if you've liked this episode, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next exploration.